This nostalgia is Construx Nunchux. What is it? What does it mean? How is it? Why is it? And it all stems from the actual building set Construx. It was back in the 80s. There were these gray plastic, they look like steel girders, and you fit these blue knobs into them.
You can Wikipedia it if you aren't familiar.
Wikipedia, you lazy assholes. If you want to know what it's all about.
Watch it. And I'm talking about you guys, Chuck Stitches. You watch it.
You watch it. We would build everything out of those things. We built robots. We built a wrestling ring for our muscle men out of Construx. But we were really into Ninja Turtles, and I think that was the last toy I was really into, as far as like getting toys. That was the last fad I got into. So we made all the Ninja Turtle weapons. The sword was easy. The bow staff was obviously easy.
Sword broke all the time. Bow staff, you couldn't even swing it.
Yeah, the sai was deceivingly easy because they had already
the arched pieces.
So we went to nunchucks because Michelangelo was my favorite at the time. So what we did is we put them together, and we took white, like,
string.
Bakery string. I don't know how to classify it. It was just white string. And it was the kind that you would tie donut boxes with.
I like that phrase, man. Bakery string. I hope that's a real phrase.
Or, yeah, the type that you tie, like, the pork together when you do, like, stuffed pork chops.
Dude, I've tied a lot of pork together in my day.
And
that's a lie.
What we would do is we built just a quick 2 longer pieces with a knob. And then we would tie string to each part.
Yeah.
And
it worked phenomenally.
We would take tape and tape the top of the knob so the string wouldn't come out, because their knots weren't really strong. And then eventually we would build them so they wouldn't fall apart. And what we do, we would each have one, and these things were effective. They were, plastic, string, plastic, and they were Construx Nunchucks. And we would, because they were so ingenious and so good, and actually a potential for hurting someone else, Ian and I would hit each other with them, and the knobs would come off, and it would leave just the plastic. We'd still hit each other.
And it would cut you.
It would cut you, basically. And that's just what we did. And it always stuck in our head. 1, because it rhymed. 2, because it was really phonetically pleasing. Construx Nunchucks. And 3, it was something personal to us that, we would have to describe in a story like this.
I think the only thing I have to add to this nostalgia is how long ago it initially took place. If you followed us, and hopefully we've described it well enough, that we've lived in 2 houses. A lot of you have moved multiple times. Some of you have never moved at all when you were with your families. We moved once. So in our first house, it was called the Ramparts house. That's, everyone in our family calls it that, so y'all know what we mean. And it had, as you know, basement playroom. And so I have a just appallingly stark visual of being wailed on with these Construx Nunchucks. I think this was pre-masking tape era when it was in the Ramparts. It was the last year in the Ramparts. But actually, the one thing that would happen that would cause them to come apart is the blue knobs in between the plastic pieces would come off. And that caused the invention of the tape to attach the inner knobs and the connecting string without it falling off. So this is a very, very, very old idea. At least
very innovative for our age, too.
22, 23 years old. And this is how repressed and developmentally arrested we are. We have not matured beyond 7 years old.
No. I don't want anyone to think I just wailed on you. We both took licks for those things.
Right on. Well, we got story number 2 coming up.
You hit me in the eyeball once. I was distressed about it.
Part 2 coming up.